Hello everyone and welcome to another video. I'm That Game Bro and today I'm going to be reading some Reddit stories about gaming. So we're just going to get right into it. Am I the asshole for turning off a video game that my son and his friends were playing? My son had a sleepover with a few of his friends last night. They had gone swimming and played at the park before coming back to my house to play video games in the living room. I bought them a pizza to eat and was overwhelmed by the smell of 10 to 11-year-old armpits. I told them to go put deodorant on and they said okay. I checked in with them a few minutes later, and they still hadn't washed up. At that point, they started to push back that they didn't need it because they already put some on last night. I said whatever deodorant they put on last night had gotten washed off at the pool, and you all spent the last hours running around in warm weather. I told them again to put some on. They still didn't put any on, so I turned off their video game. Apparently, they were just about to pass a difficult level before I turned it off, and they were very upset with me. My son later told me that I embarrassed him. I told him that I handled it the way I did because I wasn't getting their attention. Yeah, I would say you could just, wait till just wait till his friends leave and then be like, dude, make sure you're not, like, disgusting, please. I feel like you didn't really have to do that in front of all those boys, that's going to embarrass a 10-year-old kid, But let's look into the comments here. You're the asshole. They are kids. They do this sort of thing. You definitely embarrassed your son in front of his friends for a relatively minor issue. I will say it is a lesson they needed to learn. Being smelly as an adult is embarrassing. Good to teach kids hygiene is important. I mean, that's true. It's definitely important, but you don't gotta, embarrass your kid in front of all his friends and stuff. Another comment here is putting deodorant on sweaty armpits after a day in the sun when you're 11 or 12 is not teaching hygiene. Hygiene is teaching them to take a shower. I don't think it's too much to ask of kids to take a shower before dinner. Also fair. Alrighty, we'll just move into the next one. I feel like that one is pretty cut and dry. They were determined to be the asshole, but I think this person should have just waited until, the friends left and then talked to his kid about it. On to the next story. Am I the asshole for playing video games while me and my girlfriend were arguing? I have a feeling I really messed up here, but in the moment I didn't feel like I was wrong for it, so I'm hoping to get other people's perspectives. So, my girlfriend and I lately haven't been able to spend much time together. Last Thursday, my girlfriend asked if she could come to my apartment and we could just chill and hang out. It was really late and I had work in the morning, so I told her no, but promised her Friday. Well, an unexpected family event came up and I had to postpone hanging out with her until Sunday night. Sunday night comes up and she comes over. We eat dinner together. Then I'm really tired, and to try to stay up longer to be with her, I decided to play some video games to help me stay awake. Apparently, it did not help because I started to get really tired really quick. I told her I was going to go sleep, which set her off, and she got mad and said she doesn't understand why she came over if all she was going to do was watch me play video games. I understand this was probably a dumbass moment, and I truly didn't even realize it at the time, but I wanted to stay awake and resolve the issue with her, so I kept playing video games as we were arguing, and she got mad because now I was distracted and it was a whole big mess. Needless to say, she didn't spend the night and has been pretty cold through text recently. I really don't know if I was the asshole though, because I feel like she may have overreacted and I was really tired. This person was deemed the asshole. Yeah, I don't know, you could just, if you're busy, replan, that seems fine, but it's like, I don't know, if you're tired, why? I don't know, dude. Playing games does not keep me up. You're the asshole. It was a bit rude to play games in the first place when she was coming over to see you. It was a real jerk move to play video games during an argument when she was trying to talk to you. Well said. That is one of the comments. Especially because they haven't been seeing each other, so why play games? You're the asshole. Why would you thinking playing video games was the answer to spending more quality time with your girlfriend over talking to her, and continuing to play while you were arguing is just disrespectful? True point, true point. You're the asshole, for obvious reasons. Why would you hang out with her if you were just going to do something you could have done alone? Very true, very true. So yeah, another cut and dry one. Just, play games on your own time. I don't know, man. Talk to your girlfriend. Jeez. On to the next one. Would I be the asshole if I ruin a stranger's relationship over a video game? I, 25 female, play a popular fighting game at a high competitive level. With the territory comes a lot of super toxic men, creeps, and just general trash talking. No big deal, I can handle it. I could play along. Whatever. It doesn't bother me. I just like to play my game. A couple days ago, I encountered a guy who I've played a few times and is really disrespectful, sending me hateful messages, calling me names, etc. And he was a little more aggressive than usual. After a bit of trash talking, back and forth, the things he was saying got really out of hand and I was uncomfortable. So I told him to have a good night. He continued berating me and started sending photos of his hot girlfriend. Not lewd or anything, but showed her whole face and upper half to try and prove a point. What point? I have no idea, but some point nonetheless. This made me really uncomfortable because as a woman in the gaming community, I feel pretty protective over other women, especially when it comes to dudes being creepy. So I messaged back one more time to tell him that regardless of how he felt, it was inappropriate and disrespectful to send photos of someone he cares about without their consent, especially considering he had his full name and public social media accounts on his profile. He immediately started in on the females being victims and overly emotional and all the shit guys like to say about women. He said it's his girlfriend and not my place to care because he can do whatever he wants with her photos. It went on and got progressively worse, so I screenshotted the messages and found his girlfriend on social media. I'm debating sending her the screenshots because if it were my boyfriend saying those things about me and sharing my personal photos, I would want someone to tell me, but I also feel like it's a super petty thing to do. I've been sitting on it for a while and I don't know what to do. Would I be the asshole? Alrighty, there's also an edit. Wow, what a response, ratioed as they say. I just want to add a couple things to my original post. First, I'm pretty much 100% sure this is actually his girlfriend. One photo he sent me included him in the photo, and it was very coupley, and most of his social media accounts feature the same girl in his profile pictures, including them standing together at weddings and other events. Second, I will post an update if available. A few commenters made a real point, being that he comes across as abusive and potentially violent, and I don't want to put myself or his girlfriend in a position that either of us could be in danger. I'm going to think of the best possible way to address this and go from there. Now that my suspicions that I'm not a psycho for wanting to do something about this is confirmed. Thank you so much for the huge response. Yeah, no, this guy sounds terrible. Do whatever. I don't know. I mean, I guess they make a good point about the, being more mindful that this guy could be abusive in real life, but I feel like you gotta send this stuff over. You can't just, have that go down, dude. I don't know. They were deemed not the asshole, which is, I feel like, the only right answer. Comment here, effing send that shit. As a girl in the gaming community, men don't respect us, and the fact he's treating his girlfriend like property and not the human she is, send it. No woman deserves to be treated like an object, especially by her own boyfriend. You will not be the asshole if you do it, in my opinion. Teach him a lesson on respecting women, and if the girlfriend tried to argue with you, just let it be and move on. If he's going to keep harassing you outside of video games, report that shit. I'm so tired of girls being targeted and harassed because of a hobby. Damn. Yeah. Another comment, not the asshole. As long as none of your social media accounts are linked to your gaming account, you should do it, and report him to the site that you were on. Anonymous keyboard warrior misogyny has to end. She might not even know this side of him. Like you, if I was a woman, I would want to know that my photos were put out there without my consent for the sole purpose of abusing other women. It's disgusting. Yeah, that's very true. I don't know. This is an awful situation. I feel bad for this guy's girlfriend out there. But hopefully this guy's sad and alone, I guess. Damn. All right, on to the next story. Am I the asshole for telling my wife to stop playing Roblox and do her duties as a parent? My 37 female wife and I, 36 male, have always tried to keep the housework pretty evenly split between us. I, for example, mow the lawn and do the laundry and dishes. And she meal plans, cooks, and picks up drops off the kids. Lately, this has all changed because she has become addicted to a game called Dress to Impress on Roblox. If you aren't familiar, it's a game where you have to dress your character in a themed outfit before the time runs out, and the other players rate it from 1 to 5 stars. It started off harmless, just a fun thing she would do during the downtime before bed, but recently she has missed crucial appointments and chores because of this game. I tried to be understanding and gently remind her to do her tasks, but she would always say she forgot or got distracted. The big argument happened last night when she forgot to pick up our 9-year-old son from basketball practice, which ended at 6. I hadn't gotten home yet, as I had to work late and our son doesn't have a phone, so I had no way of knowing the situation. I eventually got home at around 7 and realized he was not in his room. I looked around further and saw that he was nowhere to be found. I walked into her bedroom, confused, to ask my wife where he was and found her on the iPad playing the game as always. When I asked her where our son was, her eyes grew wide and I knew what happened without her having to say. I immediately got back into my car and went to pick him up. Luckily, his coach had stayed after to make sure he was picked up safe, and I apologized profusely. Apparently, he had been calling and texting my wife, who was the emergency contact, and she didn't even notice. When we got home, I immediately blew up at her. How could she be so addicted to a kid's game that she completely forgot our son? Now she's telling me it was a one-time thing and that I'm an asshole for getting angry. I don't know what to think. I do kind of understand her side of the story as it has only happened one time, but she has to be a responsible parent. She can't just completely forget about our child who has no way to get home on his own. So, am I the asshole? The verdict is not the asshole, which I definitely agree with. This guy is not the asshole. How could you be so addicted to a Roblox game, dude? Even Dress to Impress? Hey, man, I would understand some games, okay? Marvel Rivals, pretty good game, okay? Maybe you can forget a kid once. But Roblox, Dress to Impress, I don't think so, you know? I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, you can't forget your kid, dude. That's terrible. I mean, immediately blowing up at her seems kind of crazy. I don't think you should blow up at your wife in front of your kid, but, you know, definitely you got to have a conversation with her and be like, you know, girl, you need to lock in, you know? Let's check the comments here. Not the asshole. This isn't a chore she's blowing off. This is forgetting your own child. How could she not even notice the calls and texts from the coach? That's what I'm wondering about. Is something else going on with her? Then the OP responded, I'm not entirely sure how she missed all of the messages and phone calls from the coach. We haven't spoken much since the argument. I haven't noticed anything different with her, but I could be missing things. So yeah, no, I don't know. I guess if it's just like, you know, she's playing, I believe on her iPad. Yeah, so she's playing on her iPad. So like maybe she's just playing and then she has her phone in the other room and like, you know, they're not connected, like text and calls and stuff. I mean, it seems like it'd be pretty easy to miss those if you're just that locked in to Dress to Impress, you know? Another comment says, is this real? She needs therapy if she's so addicted to a silly kid's game with avatars that she's forgetting her own real child. This is a scary and serious event for your kid. And okay, maybe losing track of time, but missing the calls and texts too? That's insane, not the asshole. I hope your kid is okay. He probably felt so scared and abandoned. And then there's also an update to this post. Hi everyone. Thank you all for your advice on my previous post. So I decided to have a conversation with my wife the day after I made the post about the time spent on video games. We talked for a while and I tried to bring up the important things we talked about in the comments. I saw a lot of people suggesting that I completely block and delete Roblox from her devices, and I brought that up. Obviously, she didn't take that well. I told her it's completely unacceptable what she has been doing, and there needs to be at least a time limit set on her device. I can't control her, but I made it clear it's a very important thing to me, and it would damage our relationship if she said no. After I said this, she agreed to the time limits. Another thing I saw a lot in the comments was a concern for my wife's mental health. I appreciate people's insight into this because it's something I don't really have a lot of experience in. I asked her if she would consider seeing a therapist, and she said she would think about it. People were also concerned about how my son is feeling after all this. I didn't realize that this is something that may have an impact on him. I had a conversation with him and made sure he understood his mom and I love and care for him, and that nothing like this would ever happen again. I also have ordered him a cheap flip phone so he wouldn't be completely stranded alone if these events did end up repeating. If there's anything I should do or could do differently regarding my son, please let me know because I don't exactly know how to navigate this situation. I don't want to be too harsh on my wife. We love each other, and it's been made more clear after our talk that this should not be a marriage ending or cause of any lasting damage. If anyone has any further advice or thoughts, I will be happy to read it. Thank you. Yeah, this guy seems awesome. I'm glad, at least the wife was receptive to any sort of conversation about this. And I think having some sort of phone for the kid is definitely a good idea, even just for any situation. I feel like if there's any sort of issue, he has a phone. So, I don't know. There's no other updates, but I hope it worked out for them. And I hope this lady can play Dress to Impress in an appropriate amount of time, because what the hell. Alrighty, this will be the last story for today. Am I the asshole for not wanting to play a game my girlfriend created? My 27 girlfriend, 24, has been working on a visual novel game as a side project for almost 2 years and recently finished it. She wanted me to play it, but I initially declined since I'm not into visual novels or reading long stories, but after she begged, I gave it a try and played it for a good 15 minutes. Wow, boyfriend of the year. Now I could tell she put in a lot of effort into the writing and the art, and it was a good start, but I just got tired of reading and stopped. She asked what I thought and wanted me to eventually finish it and tell her what I thought about the choices and the endings. but I told her I had no plans to. She looked shocked and asked if it was boring. I told her no, it's just that I'm not into this type of genre, and she knows I'm not into reading, but asked me to make an exception this time since she made it. I got upset because I think she is being childish and wants to blackmail me into doing something I don't want. After I made it clear I wasn't continuing, she hasn't talked to me. I already know that she is talented and smart, so just because I don't want to play it doesn't mean I don't support her. Some of my friends agree she's being immature, but others think I should be more supportive. So, am I the asshole? First off, I don't want to play it doesn't mean I don't support her. That makes no sense. You're literally not supporting her by, not playing the game. The verdict is asshole. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear, dude. Just play the game. I mean, do you not know how to read? This sounds like pretty sick. I don't know, dude. I'll play this game. What's the game called? Let's look into the comments here. You're the asshole. Your girlfriend worked for years on this project, and you can't be bothered to spend an hour or two supporting her by playing it? You're the immature one here. Partners do things for each other. Get off the internet and go apologize to her. Boom. I mean, slam dunk right there, dude. Damn. You're the asshole. By not trying the game, you communicate that you don't care about what they do. Yeah, that's pretty much kind of what I said. I mean, dude, just play the game. I don't understand. Oh my God. You're the asshole. Break up with her and date someone you actually like. And then someone else replied, also, break up with her so she can date someone who actually likes her. Which, yeah, that seems more accurate, dude. This guy kind of seems like he might hate his girlfriend. Damn, yeah. A lot of assholes. And some not assholes. Some cool people, but most assholes. That'll be it for this video. For the background, I think I'm just going to put Assassin's Creed gameplay on here. Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Because I'm too broke to buy the new one. In the future, if I make another one of these videos, let me know if I should have different stuff in the background or do some kind of face cam thing or different games or... I don't even know, dude. I just want to read some Reddit. I was just on Am I the Asshole and wanted to find if, anyone was talking about video games and stuff. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed. I really appreciate you staying to the end of the video and watching. And I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.